One thing that is true about learning to play the guitar is that we all want to know that we are progressing while we're learning. Right now, you might only know a few chords, but here's the thing. Even just a small shift in how you play can make you sound way more advanced than you really are. So here's the secret. It's not about learning more tricks. It's about understanding and expanding what you already know, and that leads to playing with intention. Today, I'm going to show you 5 different ways to build upon the major chords we already learned in the key of G. But we're not just adding more for the sake of it. These are techniques that I learned myself early on and still use to this day, years later. One revelation I had early on leveling up is it's not about cramming your brain with theory or stuffing your practice with hacks. It's about understanding what you already are playing and why it works, how it fits into music, and how you can use it with confidence. In this session, it's all about intention. You'll walk away sounding better, not because you learned something new, but because you understand what you already know in a deeper, more useful way. So let's get into it. Now, before I jump into these chord upgrades, it helps to know the basics. Now, if you already know the basics of music theory, I encourage you to skip ahead to the next chapter, starting with level 1, and you can use the chapters below. So this video is going to be a longer video, and I do encourage you to watch it in its entirety. So in music, think of music as a language. In language, we communicate with sentences. Sentences are just a group of words. Words are just a group of letters. And if we stick to this analogy with music, sentences actually equal chord progressions. In our case, we've been playing G to C to D back to C. Words equal a group of notes that make up a chord. Every major chord is built with the same 3 notes. It's always the first, which is the root of the chord, the third, which is 2 notes up, and the fifth, which is 2 notes up after the third. So in our case, the chord G is built with the first, which is a G, the third, which is a B, and the fifth, which is a D. And then finally, think of letters as our individual notes. So let's break it down real quick. For the key we already know, G major. Every key has 7 notes in it. So in our visual, we will look at them as notes and chords. That is from G all the way to F sharp. Each note or chord is numbered starting with 1, the root of the key. And in our case, the 1 is G. All the capitalized notes represent the major chords, and all of the lowercase notes represent the minor or diminished chords. The good news is you don't need to memorize all of this today, but it is good to see and visualize what you're working in, especially when we start to move in the different ways that we can level up our play. This is what gives your playing a musical sound. You're not just guessing random chords, you're working inside of a framework that makes sense. So for level 1, I like to add what I call the secret sauce for beginners. And it's one of my favorite tricks that I use to instantly make myself sound more legit. And that secret sauce is called arpeggios. Arpeggios are, instead of playing our chords like we have, where we played all the strings, we actually strum all the strings one at a time, like this. Arpeggios are just broken up chords. It's all the same notes, but it's delivered in a more textured, emotional way. So think of it as letting each note tell its own part of the story. And the benefit of this is that it adds more emotion and expression. When you play with more dynamics, people get more, who are listening to you, they get more captivated with your play. It also teaches discipline and control of your picking hand. You can play this with a pick, or you can play it with your fingers like I am. But this is might be what it sounds like with a pick. It makes boring chords sound way more cinematic. Now on to level 2. I know this might sound counterintuitive, but one way to sound better is to start subtracting notes from your chords. So we're going to play the root. So in our case, that would be a G, 3rd fret, low E string. And the 5th note of each chord in the chord of G, that would be the D note on the B string. But we'll do it in a way that it basically creates a mini chord shape. That sounds way bigger and way wider. The goal here is to actually create space with this. You can play these notes like we did on level 1, arpeggio style. You can alternate between the two, or you can play them at the same time. So let's dive into how to do this. We already know what our G shape is, which basically you already have your 1st and your 5th lined up. So what I do is I'll use the low E string to navigate up and down the fretboard and go to the position of what each chord in the progression should be. We already know that G is on the 3rd fret, but we need to figure out where the C chord is, and that is on the 8th fret. So if I count up and I go to the 8th fret and I use my same chord shape, I can still play the low E string and the B string. Because I know the formula of the 1st, 3rd, and the 5th, I know that in the chord of C, the 1st is a C, the 5th is going to be a G. And then when I want to play the D chord, I move up 2 frets and I do the same thing. The benefits of using this and to make you sound better is that it actually trains your chording hand to move up and down the fretboard. It teaches you the sound and the different sounds of intervals and octaves. And it also builds fretboard awareness. You start by learning the notes that are on the low E string, and you also learn the notes that are on the B string. The low E string is important because it's heavily used as a roadmap and a root note for all chords. Learning the notes on the B string is important because it's that string that allows you to move the D chord shape up and down the neck. And this is what it sounds like. I'm going to move to D, back to C, enjoying this video so far? Well, do me a solid and hit the like button. And if you like more clear, beginner-friendly guitar lessons that actually make you a better player in a short amount of time, hit the subscribe. Oh, and keep an eye in the description for free resources as well as links to the gear that I may have used in this video. For level 3, it takes the same idea as level 2 and it flips it. So we're actually playing, instead of playing our G note on the low E string, we actually play it on the high E string. I want you to think of the guitar that these 2 strings, the 2 end E's, are the exact same string. So that would sound like this. You're basically inverting the root note from a bass level to the high register G. These 2 note shapes are also known as double stops, which were made popular by Jimi Hendrix. They're great for fills, intros, and rhythm, and embellishments. A double stop is just when you play 2 notes at the same time. Think of it as the chord's smaller cousin. It's tight, it's punchier, and super useful for all types of genres, from country to blues to worship. So, let me show you how to play the double stop. I basically take my index finger and I cover both the B and the high E string. And I play both notes at the same time on the 3rd fret. That's my G. Like we did before, move that down to the 8th fret and play those same 2 strings. And then from there, move down to the 10th fret and play those same 2 strings. And you can do that in a chord progression as well. So in a simple 4/4 progression, G, C, D, C, it'll sound like this. How this makes you sound better is that it introduces melody and harmony in a combo. You can use it in any genre, like blues, funk, country, and it sets you up for harder chords in the future, like the dreadful F chord. Now, level 4 is all about doing more with less real estate. So we're going to do everything that we've learned so far, but we're going to keep it within the first 5 frets of the guitar. Why, you may ask? Because the more you restrict your movements on the neck, the more experienced you may seem. I'll admit, I personally first started learning how to move up and down the neck, but after a couple months of doing so, I made a conscious effort to try to restrict my movements. So to demonstrate this, we're going to go back to level 1 and we're going to play the G chord the same that we did playing the first and the fifth. I'm going to get my G shape. I got my first and my fifth. Let me lift my pinky for this one. So again, alternating between the low E string, 3rd fret, and the B string, 3rd fret. I'm going to take my fingers and shift them down 1 string. So my middle finger should be on the 3rd fret of the A string, and my ring finger should be on the 3rd fret of the high E string. And I'm going to play those strings instead. That's C. That's a C and a G. Get comfortable moving in between those. Now, the way the guitar is structured, I know that anywhere on this neck, if I find the root note on the low E string, I know that the 4th is always the A string, same fret. And then the 5th is always 2 frets up. So in our case, we've done the G, we move to the C. If I move vertically up 2 frets and play what I did for the C, I'll get the D. And I'm actually playing a D and an A. So that sounds like this. There I showed you alternating and also playing all the strings at the same time. So why this is important is because it teaches you the economy of motion when it comes to guitar, especially an acoustic guitar. You want to play as efficient as you can. So by restricting your movements, you're not moving from 3rd fret to 8th fret to 10th fret to 3rd fret. You're actually restricting into a common area where all the notes in whatever key that you're playing are all there. It also boosts your dexterity in knowing not only the notes on the low E string, but you're going to have to know all the notes on the low A string. And don't worry, it's a lot easier than what it may sound. Plus, if you use this system of where I play the root note on the E, move down to the A, and then move up, that works for every single key. And you will know all the 1, 4, and the 5 of every single key. I can do that in any key. Like, for example, I can do it in the key of B. I know that B is on the 7th fret. I know 7th fret A string is a E. And I know that if I go up 2 frets, it's a F sharp. And those are the 3 chords, the 3 major chords that are in the key of B. And now, level 5. This is where we start sounding even more like a pro. We're going to use chord variations where they're called slash chords. Examples of slash chords are using the 3rd of each chord as a bass note instead of within the chord. One example would be for G, I'd actually use the B as my bass note, that's 2nd fret A string, but I'd play my G chord as normal. Or I might put a E in the bass for a C chord. However, whenever I play it, this chord, I always use the C natural way. And then finally, another note that sounds really good with the D chord would be a F sharp. All we're doing is adding or switching out the root bass note with another note in the same key. And it changes the flavor of your chords completely. I like using these because they set up a roadmap for chord transitions and smoother transitions. Another useful way to use this is to actually walk up and down the scale. Now, I know we're not into scales just yet, but just for reference, all of the notes that are in the key of G are all within the first three frets and open string. So I know that there's a song that I usually play where the move that I do is I go from a G and I will play it for three beats out of a four beat. On the end, I actually put the B note in and move up to a C. And that sounds like, so it might sound like this. It just shows that you know a little bit more about keys than what you lead on or how long you've been practicing. It also adds emotion and dynamics. There's another song that I know that I play where I add additional notes into it by walking down certain strings. So I might play my G chord like this to the B, then I move to a C. It adds emotions with your dynamics. Who would have thought that I can add a F sharp into a G and it makes you sound more like a pro? Another benefit is that you're training your ear and your fingers to know exactly where to go. These moves, especially in the key of G, when we get into minor chords, are even more pertinent there. I can move from a G, hit an F sharp, and then play an E minor. Sounds just as good. Now, you might have some common questions or misunderstandings. By now, you might be wondering, aren't these techniques too advanced for beginners? Well, honestly, no. These techniques use the same chords you already know. We're just adding small moves to unlock bigger sounds. Think of it as adding color to a black and white sketch. Another question you might be thinking is, why not just learn more chords instead? Well, learning more chords is great, and I highly encourage it. But learning more from the existing chords promotes muscle memory, understanding, and confidence. You might also be thinking, I feel like I never sound that clean or smooth. Well, everyone starts messy, but these 5 levels speed up your control, help you internalize the fretboard shapes, and before you know it, you'll sound smoother without trying harder. By now, we've gone way beyond just playing a regular G, C, and D. You've learned how to make them more emotional, more expressive, and more musical. These 5 levels aren't about tricks, they're about understanding the power of simplicity. All right, so now it's your turn. Take each of these 5 techniques and practice them one at a time. Don't rush. Get comfortable with each one until it feels natural. And then move on to the next. You're not just learning tricks, you're building real musical confidence. And here's a bonus challenge. Once you've gotten all 5 under your fingers, start mixing them all together. That's where your own sound starts to come alive. Keep going, stay patient, and have fun with it. Your next level is right around the corner. As always, I've created a new jam track to help in your practice. You can find it in the description below. Always remember, you got this. Until next time.